source and a consumer advocate and put Bay TV on.
Let's do it now.
Unusual occupation for a woman, being involved in giving tips on how to buy a car, and you must be very successful at it, because I would think women in particular would really like to hear another woman's opinion on this.
Well, I hope they want to hear another woman's opinion. I hope they want to hear an opinion from someone that has had a lot of time and experience in buying cars for consumers, as well as a lot of experience in the industry.
Now, you're an agent, not a broker, is that correct?
I am a buyer's agent. Big difference.
You represent the buyer, not the dealer.
I represent only the buyer with no conflict of interest. The broker is allowed to earn a commission, fees from dealers, manufacturers, and lenders, and the buyer's agent is prohibited from any conflict of interest.
I got to tell you, I bought my last car, as a matter of fact, from a broker because I couldn't find the model I wanted. I was at the end of the season for this particular car. And so anyway, I knew what I was getting into, and that person was able to get me the car. But if I'd gone to you, would I have saved money?
I think there's a significant savings from broker to agent. Anywhere from $700 to $1,500 is probably average.
1, 2, 3. Ouch.
A lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
When there's a conflict of interest in any industry, particularly the automobile industry, then it means savings are not being passed on to consumers. So it's real important that the consumer knows to ask the right questions.
Well, did you hear what, I don't know if you were able to hear what Herb Greenberg said earlier about the car dealers saying no haggling, and the government maybe saying that, hey, that's an antitrust situation.
And due time for an investigation.
Oh, okay.
If consumers are led to believe that by writing a check for full retail on a car that they're saving money in the long term, then consumers are not being told the truth. When Saturn came into the marketplace, originally their profit margins were between $400 and $600 per unit. Those profits are up to $1,600 to $2,200 per unit. You can buy a Honda Civic, a comparable unit, for dealer cost plus $200. So why would a consumer write a check for the full amount of any car? Definitely you want to haggle. Definitely you want to find out cost, and you want to base your price on what the dealer paid the manufacturer.
All right, aside from haggling, which is an important right of all people, I think, everywhere, what are the tips for buying a new car? Cy wants to talk about used cars, but let's do new car first. What are some of the tips?
Well, what people have to understand before buying their car is where the dealer is making the profit margin. Dealers make profit from the sale, from financing, from aftermarket products that are sold, such as extended warranties, and from the trade-in. So, what do you want to do? You want to find out what dealer cost is versus retail and make your offer to the dealer based on cost. Don't haggle from suggested retail down.
Yeah, but where do we get this information? How do we find this out?
There are price guides available through Consumer Reports, through AAA, through the library. And the sources are Kelley Blue Book and Edmunds Price Guide.
Okay, test driving a car. We all like to go out for the ride, but sometimes you don't really take advantage of what the test drive provides, right?
People get lost in the toys in the car. So what you want to do is bring a list of your own agenda, keep the radio off, keep the moonroof closed, and focus in on what you really are looking for in that particular make and model. And don't get into a lot of personal dissertation with the salesperson. Stay focused on what you're looking for.
Really important, absolutely right. Comparison shopping, again, something most people would say, yeah, I'm going to do that, but yet we have a tendency not to.
People get so emotional about a car. A salesperson will suspend disbelief and say, this car is the only one in California. And the buyer has to be aware that if they go to the next dealer, that same car is either there, coming, or can be ordered.
Yeah. Beware of terms like no dicker stickers and value pricing.
We just covered, and it's so important. You do want to discuss price. You always want to discuss price, and you never want to pay full list price for any vehicle.
Finally, because I promised Cy I would ask you this, what about used cars? Same rules basically apply with what difference?
Most importantly, and a function that I hope the state of California will soon legislate, is having diagnostic performed before you buy a used car. Let the seller be responsible for having that diagnostic performed, or the buyer be responsible. But if a diagnostic is performed by an agency that has no conflict of interest, in other words, such as AAA or the Auto Critic down in Los Gatos, in these areas, the diagnostic can be so helpful because it will give you a full evaluation of the car, and you know that they're giving you an unbiased report. They don't do repairs.
Diagnostic from the car.
Diagnostic, most important.
Turn your wheels and cough, please. Phone number for Linda Goldberg. We're going to put it up on the screen, I believe, right now. Yes, so you can get in touch with Linda if you have further questions. There it is, 415-381-7798. Real quickly, how is it to be in this business, a business that has been associated mostly with men? You had any problems with that at all?
No, not at all. It's been very challenging. I was one of the first women to get into the industry in the mid-'70s, and it's been a growing position for all women in the industry.
Good for you. That's great. Okay, we're moving ahead. Linda, thank you very much for being with us. You will now look at a most beautiful shot, Linda. This is the drive that you will be taking home over that magnificent bridge, where Bay TV will be broadcast soon.